Alright, well, welcome back to Black Swan Outdoors, and today we are going to talk about the solid fuel stoves. Sometimes they're called Tommy cookers, and the Brits call them it. These are stoves that have an origin in the military. There's different designs. Every military has their own little design, from usable, reusable ones similar to this, to disposable ones. And they used to be issued out with MREs, I believe, from many different countries. Today I don't think they're as well used, but you do see them occasionally with outdoor enthusiasts, and they make different stoves better for outdoor use. So today what we're going to do is we're going to make some coffee while I'm talk a little about the pros and cons of these stoves, and make some coffee. So hopefully you enjoy. Alright, so the main really component of this stove is the fuel, which just comes in a block like this, and the stove itself just opens up like this, and you want to just open up a bit so that your pot actually sits on top of there. If you have a larger pot, you can go 90 degrees. I'm going to go about 45, also, and kind of create a little protection for the wind. It's a little bit of a windy day, and hopefully it doesn't rain on us here. But what I'm going to do is put the fuel cell standing up. This is going to direct the heat up, and it's going to burn a lot harder. I could lay it down, and it'll burn a little bit slower. So these are a little bit tricky to get started. It's very hard to do with a ferro rod. Can be done, but I would suggest getting a small fire started, and then with some sticks or leaves or whatever, and then with the ferro rod, and then go ahead and get the block started, because just the sparks alone isn't going to do it. So essentially, then what I'm going to do is I'm just going to put my small pot here, top of there. Now we're going to make try to make some Turkish coffee. We don't have an e-brick or a jezve, so we'll see how this kind of, I guess, turns out. I'm going to go ahead and make so I'm going to make enough for probably about 2 shots worth. So that'll be about, I guess, about roughly 8 ounces. I'm going to go ahead and put that in there, and you can see how hot that is already. That has gotten quite a bit. I'm going to let the kind of the water warm up a little bit as we're talking. So as far as coffee, what you want is really, really fine ground coffee, something it's almost like a flour. The finer the better. So I'm going to do 2 tablespoons, because I'm going to do 2 cups. 2 heaping tablespoons, that is. Alright, and then what's optional is the sugar. Whoa! Alright, I'm going to go ahead and give this a little stir. And I'm going to go ahead and put in, for every person, is a teaspoon of sugar. So I'm going to do two teaspoons of sugar right in there. Give that a little stir as well. Now, one of the things about these stoves is they're super lightweight, and one of the things I'm interested about it is that the fuel is very shelf stable, which is probably what the military really liked about these, that they're lightweight, shelf stable. It wasn't going to combust. You know, it's a lot easier, faster, logistically, just to move tablets than it is like compressed stove. You know, the compressed stoves I prefer. I didn't really ever think of using tablets for camping, other than for like maybe emergency services, because I just don't like the idea of chemicals. And I always think of these tablets as like coming out of like the chemical craze of the 1940s and 50s, and then you realize how bad it is later. Just why would you expose yourself to the formaldehyde that's toxic that comes out of these things? But whatever, we're outside, we're having fun. So the water just up to a boil. Wow, that was quick. Just less than a couple minutes. And what I'm going to do here is there's the foam, the creme. I'm going to go ahead and you can see that bad boy smoking. That guy was really burning. Try to get some of that creme on there. And the more creme, the better, right? And that nice and I'm not a coffee aficionado by any means, so please in the comments below tell me what I'm doing wrong or what I could do better, because this is just how I've made Turkish coffee in the past. There we go. Coffee. So we have this stove. Well, there's different varieties of tablets. There's the trioxane and the hexamine and Isbit. Isbit is just the brand name for the hexamine. Trioxane is not as used as much anymore. It's easier to light. It's but lower heat value. I don't know if it's less toxic. I've read other places that it's less toxic, but I think it's a nice option. I really like, from an emergency standpoint, the bio stoves. I absolutely love my, and I've done videos on this, of the little paint can stove that I made. I use that thing all the time, hunting trips and camping, hiking. And then I had made a rocket stove as well, which I like to use for canoe camping. And those are fantastic because you can find fuel pretty much anywhere. But in those situations where you need fuel and it's wet, in a wet environment, it's really nice to be able to have, get that fire started. You can see how fast I made this cup of coffee, and it's a kind of a cold, rainy day here today. So, I can imagine how in an emergency situation it'd be just nice to have. One of the nice things about these little stoves is you could still build a fire underneath them, turn it upside down and build a fire, or put a fire, build a fire, a small fire in there to boil water. It's going to take a little bit of time, but it could still be done. This type of thing for survival. Make a cup of coffee, cook a fish, perfect amount of time in the stove. You can always add more tablets, and you can always break up the tablets and have less, and not use as much. There's all sorts of different options you can do with it, and it's literally just the tablet. So there's nothing to break. There's nothing, no parts to find. Hard to find. When I do like backpacking internationally, sometimes it's hard to find white gas. So you have to have a special international stove that's going to be able to, you can use other types of fuels, multi-fuels on there. Propane bottles, like I said, can be hard to find in some places too. Whereas these little tabs you can throw in the back of your car anywhere, in anything, a backpack, forget about them. As long as they're cool and dry place, you're good to go. Yeah, so I mean, I think it's a great option, something to think about. For those that haven't seen how these things work, maybe this was a good video. I don't know, but at least I'm going to try it out some more. I just really think of it as a great option for, you know, when you're hiking, you want to stop and it's cold and rainy, and you just want to get, like, you know, some ramen soup or something, you know, and you this would be a great option. Or hiking, survival situations, or what have you. Yeah, this was the fuel tab stove. Hopefully the rambling wasn't too much on here, but trying to do two things at once. And if you like this video, like and subscribe, and check out our other videos. Probably a little better than this one, but hey, we're having fun out here, whatever, I don't care.